It's a good feeling to hop in a car and just know it's going to work. You're all a bit crooked there, aren't you? So we're going roll racing and we're taking this, the XB Falcon John Goss. Now, we're not going there just yet because there's a couple of things that I want to address. Little things that we sort of just made okay for the first time we're going to go around, but this time we're going to make sure it's perfect. So, let's back her in the shed and figure out what we need to do.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
So, there are two main things I want to attack. One is the work that we've done back here. Everything's working fine. I've had no issues. The battery hasn't even moved. I want to mount this battery a little bit better. We've done all right. It's not going anywhere, but I just want that little bit of extra security. And we get a little bit of extra weight back here too, which is great to even out that big heavy V8. So we're going to build a proper battery tray for the battery to sit in, and we're going to have some proper tie downs holding the battery down securely. So we'll get that addressed. The next thing we need to address is up the front. Right, so we discovered something mildly disturbing last time we test drove this. Is that when it's time to put the headlights on, the alternator can't keep up whilst the thermofans are running. If we just have the headlights on or just the thermofans on, no dramas. But at idle, any other RPM we're fine, but at idle, the alternator is not keeping up. So we've needed a higher performance, lower RPM, higher output at lower RPM alternator, which turns out is quite dear, but I've purchased one and we're going to whack it on in there. Hopefully it's a direct bolt up and we don't need to modify anything. We'll find out soon enough though. Looking at it now, I think we need some spacers. We've got a little bit of time until it's time to attack this. Okay, I reckon we'll start here with the battery, since whatever we make, we'll have to wait for the paint to dry. And I'm thinking the only thing we really need is to get rid of these straps because they will loosen over time. I think just build a cradle for it and then we can put two tie downs like that. Like it.
Yes, we are back once more working on the big block swapped Ford XB Falcon John Goss Special with the intentions of taking it out roll racing, not to win, but to test. This once father-son project car has been acting up, giving us more grief than an ungrateful toddler. But the Goss has finally aged out of its terrible 2s and annoying 3s to become something far more capable. But how capable is yet to be seen. And that's why we want to take her out roll racing and hopefully, all being well, go to a circuit event.
So we've cut everything out, we've prettied it up, we've sanded it back, I've made some of these little tabs. These are where the threads of what I'm assuming I'm going to use for the battery mounts are going to slot in and go like that in there, which is fantastic. So they're all cut out. I've got the existing brackets which I'm reusing. I've cut them down, sanded all the paint that's going to be in the way off, and got everything assembled roughly here, and it's all looking like it is going to work just fine. So next step is double check our measurements, tack weld it, test it, and then weld it fully, and then we can move on to the alternator whilst this is being painted. Should be easy enough. Should be straightforward. We'll see how it goes.
You know, as you can quite clearly tell, I'm not welding this on the metal table, and that's because that's about as flat as the Himalayas. So we'll tack weld it on here, and then we can seam weld it on that. Battery in it and see what it does. Oh.
we're close. But indeed, it is a little bit too tight.
Now, before we go roll racing, we first need to finish addressing my bodge job of a battery tray, which the previous rendition was a good temporary solution to hold our overkill battery in place, but now with more time, we need to properly secure it.
Oh, still enough. What have I done wrong? Oh, now I've got it wedged.
And that's going to be a big theme with this car, spending more time on it.
All right, come on. Third time the charm. Here we go. Third time is not the charm.
As we approach the stages in this car's life where she's dependable, we can look at fixing and cleaning up all the half-baked solutions and poor quality workmanship.
All right, we're going fourth time. I think ultimately what I've done is I've just cut it that little bit too short. I should have cut on the other side of the line kind of thing. That's all right. We will make it fit. Hey!
And addressing all my qualms with this car will take time and probably multiple renditions, just like this battery tray here, as we try to find what sticks and as I level up my own unqualified skills, which is mostly going to be put to the test with this wiring, as we will soon discover that John Goss still isn't 100%.
Where's my other hand gone?
But all this work will be worth it, because not only will we get to learn in droves, but we will also get a brilliant car out of it. One that we're not worried will break down, catch fire, or let us down in any way. And then we can decide where we want to take this car, both literally, but also in spirit. Because I have this feeling this car hasn't quite figured out its identity just yet. Certainly not in the same capacity as the LTD has.
Mixed bags as well, but she's strong. She is definitely strong. Alright. Let's go have some lunch while we wait for this to cool down. This here is our new alternator, and it is fantastic and it should solve all our problems. Only drama is, this bit of stock here, this arm or whatever you call it, the connection point that connects to the block of the motor, it's actually shorter than the one that we've got on the motor at the moment. No real drama, we just need a bit of extra stock in between the motor and the alternator here. I've measured it out, looks like it's about 56 millimeters, so I'll go out and purchase some of that. In the meantime, we can remove the old alternator and just make sure, I suppose, that everything still sort of lines up and looks the same, which looking at it now, it kind of looks like it doesn't, but we'll get to that. Right, let's get this out, see what we can find. Here is our two alternators, and there's a couple of items of concern. So we're dealing with a serpentine belt kit system that is on this motor, so that's one of the reasons why this doesn't just bolt up directly. It's also because this is just a universal alternator. It's got this sort of, I don't know what you call it, bolt pattern, I suppose, is shared along quite a few different platforms, so there's some adjustment required. But my biggest item of concern is with this serpentine belt kit, this alternator sticks out quite a ways, the old one. Now, clearances and stuff ain't the issue. The issue is I don't know if we're going to be able to get this one, this new one, aligned properly. And also the pulley that came with it doesn't have enough ribs. So I'm going to have to use this old pulley. I hope it all mounts and fits on there properly and is all okay, but we might need to put some spacers or figure out some sort of adapter. The main thing we're going to have to do is just pull it apart and have a look and see how it fits. So that's our next step, is to pull apart this old one and get this V-belt pulley off of this one and see if we can find some differences. Maxi Meal. Ah! Wow, it works. I haven't been able to find a bit of aluminum stock nearby, but I did find a bit of steel. So I've cut it out now, I've measured it, it all looks pretty good. This will act as a pretty good spacer. It's got some high temperature paint on it so it doesn't melt and burn off and everything. This should be all that we need now, so we should be able to assemble the alternator back into the car. Let's give it a shot. I must admit, I was a bit of an idiot. I cut this out and I checked my measurements and I was like, oh yeah, that's perfect, right? It lines up, everything's all good. The hole that I drilled out's not in the center perfectly, but not that big of a deal, it'll still work. I didn't then test fit it, so I'm sort of hoping that my measurements were right. We'll find out in a minute. There we go. In there. Oh, looks like I goofed. God damn, I knew I should have tested it. How did I manage to stuff that up so bad? Some adjustment is required. That was stupid. All right, with the paint drying and my little stuff up, we can install our battery tray. All right. Alright, I had to build little, these adjustable brackets I got were too small, so I had to build little extension parts to them, but they work now, they work good, so we are going to install them. Only drama being, and I don't know if this is, actually it kind of is concerning, I managed to break one of these, so yeah, that's a bit of a worry. Anyway, we will push on. I've really not thought this one through, have I? That was a bit dumb. Yes. I can't believe I didn't... Of course, it's a big battery. I wouldn't... Look at this alternator install, so at least it feels like I've achieved something today.
Aside from me thinking about other projects and not truly focusing on the one I'm tackling here, things are going well.
See, man, if I was a smart man, I'd jack up the car, wouldn't I?
Once I purchase some all-thread, our battery will be even more secure than our seats, and the alternator now fits in perfectly. Plus, to boot, it even all works, lining up with the belt system and charging the battery. However,
when I finished doing the alternator up, I was like, right, we can test it soon. This is fantastic. And I was just looking over everything, and then I saw the wiring that runs to the alternator. Now, I've seen it a couple of times now, but I've just never really thought anything of it. But in that moment, I looked at it and I was like, that looks kind of small. That looks really small. And also, why in the one cable is there red and black that connects to a red and black that goes into the one terminal yet again? It doesn't split off and go in two different spots. It goes to the exact same spot. And I was like, that's a bit odd. And then I realised, oh, it's a fused as well. There's an aftermarket fuse in it. All right, I better inspect the fuse because we're upgrading the alternator. I might need a bigger fuse. It had an 80 amp fuse, which I suppose would have been good enough for if it was stock and factory. 80 amps, they're going to cut it with the new alternator's outputting 150 amps. So that wasn't going to cut it, so I had to upgrade that. And I had to fix that wiring. It was so small. There's no wonder we weren't getting frickin' charged all the way throughout the car. The alternator wiring was that small. And I even melted the old fuse, like, plastic in there. And I think that's a real great sign that if you don't have your wiring the right size, having a fuse is irrelevant because your wires are going to melt before your fuse does. So that was ridiculous. I thought that was stupid. But anyway, we've upgraded the cabling. The cabling is massively oversized. Unfortunately, it was the only size I could get. But it's not going to have any drama. It's going to be future-proof for everything now. Speaking of, the alternator, it's working now. It's holding voltage. Before, at idle, this just plummeted when you had the thermofans and the headlights on. It would just completely plummet. It still plummets. It now drops to 11.98 volts, which isn't ideal, but it stays there. It doesn't continue to drop. It doesn't go further. And as soon as you get it up to 1,000 RPM, you're into 13 volts, no dramas at all. I think a big reason for that is this idle's really low. This idle's at like 500-600 RPM. I suppose we could potentially look at other alternators that worked even better at even lower RPMs, but then I think the further we go down that road, we run the risk of putting so much stress on the motor at the lower RPM that we're going to have to then pump up the motor's RPM pump more fuel into it, then it's going to get hotter, then it's going to have to run the thermofans more. The thermofans are going to get more heat soaked. I think it's going to be a snowball effect. So I think for now that's okay. And to help mitigate that, we're going to be doing an upgrade. And this is dual faceted. So one of the reasons we're doing this upgrade is because of the voltage issue, but the other reason is because the headlights in this thing are rubbish. They're really, really bad. Now, Ford got around this by installing 2 more headlights in this area here, one on that side, one on the other side. And on the LTD, they're actually not that bad. Like it feels like you're driving sort of maybe an early 2000s car. You're not quite into LED territory, but it's still bright enough. Instead of doing that, because I like the way this looks as is, I'm going to just upgrade the headlights. Now, I was tossing up between a few different options. I thought maybe get the halo in there. I think I might do that, the LTD, but I'm not going to do it to this. I think this still very much has a sort of classic and period correct vibe to it, even though it's not original. And I think having white light and halos, especially when you've only got the 2 lights, I think it's going to make it look a bit tacky and a bit messy for what the theme of the car is. So we went with yellow light and no halos. It's just going to look factory, except these are going to be a bit brighter and they're going to suck less because these are LEDs. These are going to suck less power than the headlights are in there now. So keen to see how much the volt drops with this in there. Hopefully, if we're at 11.98 volts with this running at idle, and if we switch over these to LEDs, we might be running at 12.5 or 12.05, I should say, volts. So this would just pretty much solve our problem. And it'll make sure our battery stays nice and healthy. On that note, the battery is now secure. It is in there. I was quite a blunder that I didn't consider the fact that those threads might not go all the way. I cut up some all thread. It's M8. It's tied down. It's super sturdy now. Before it was like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's not going to go anywhere. Now it's not moving at all. That is in there. I think the thing that would go next would be the fuel tank would drop out, and that's what it would need to move. But with that now sorted, everything's now happy. We're not going to take it for a test drive just yet. We're going to do the headlights. And then once the rain clears up, which is going to be like never, it's apparently raining for the rest of eternity. Hopefully it doesn't rain again at roll racing. We'll take it for a test drive, make sure everything's okay. Check that nothing smells funny, check nothing catches fire. Then take it roll racing. But first, let's do this headlights. I can't tell what's right or not. It's time. It's finally time. I don't think I can express. Let's have a moment. I don't think I can fully express how significant of how significant this is that we're doing this race. This has been years in the over a decade in the making, trying to do this. And every time we've been getting closer and closer and closer. We've never gotten there. And now we might just. Now we might just. I so hope it goes well. I really do. I really hope this goes well. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Let's see how we do. Go right way. Oh, you have to hold with me. I can't get the light to work. This is our first test run. Everything's looking all right. Bolt gauge is a bit down when I've got the brakes, headlights and thermo fans on. It's lower than I would like. I think I'm going to have to up the idle RPM. This run, what we're going to do is we're just going to get a feel for the car. We're going to come off straight away. We're not going to give it full beans. We're just going to go for a quick run and see how she feels. Alright, she seems okay. A bit of vibration, but that's to be expected. Right, first run, it went, oh god, I hate slow speeds, man. First run went well. So the very first one, we went out and I started in first gear and I shifted to second really early, thinking that would better suit my gearing. It didn't. It did not at all. My mate smoked me, but that was okay. We're testing it. The second run I did, I started in second and pulled from second. It felt better, but it wasn't it. So now, I think now we're in the realm of pushing it. We're going to push it hard. So we're going to put it in first gear and absolutely plant it. The tyres are too fat in the back to where we won't spin it. So I think we're going to be on the money here for something big. So let's see if we can at least just keep up with this newer Falcon that's in front of me. He's cheating though. He's got forced induction. It may just say XR6 on his car, but he does have a little turbo under there. So we're going to try and see if we can't get Grandpa to catch up to him. Because now we're having fun. We know it works. We're going to have some fun. I can't get him! You son of a bitch! Damn it! God damn it! That was better, but it wasn't enough. It was not enough. He took off first. You saw that. He took off first. Oh. 8.9 litres and I can't beat a barrel turbo. Oh, Jesus, ladies and gentlemen, Jesus. I want more. Oh. We're going to push it and see how well I do.
So we went roll racing. And we did one sort of race where we just warmed up.
everything seemed fine. I only revved it out to about, say, 4,000 RPM. We got up to 100 kilometres an hour, practically driving it on the street, but all went well. We then did our next race. Just so we're clear, you are cheating, you've got a turbo.
There's the guy with 500 cubic meters.
And all went well yet again. We did another race. And all went well again. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've caught the bug. I want to go fast. Oh, let's not blow anything up. Please, dear God, let's not blow anything up. That was 3 times. We did go on the pits in between. I was meant to go on the pits straight away after my first run, but I was excited, it was working, and I ultimately didn't push it that hard, so I thought we'll do 2 runs back to back, then we'll go on the pits. Then we'll come out for some more. So 3 races down, everything went okay. So we did another one. We did a 4th race. Everything went well yet again. We did a 5th race. It was still working. We did a 6th race. And it was still working. And by this point, we realised I could push it some more. So we continued. We did a 7th race. We did an 8th race. We did the 9th race. I think we ended up doing about 10 races. And in that entire... We weren't. Not only were we not the first to break down out there on the track, we didn't. We did not. We didn't break... All the call... I checked this morning, right? I topped it up before the race. I checked over everything, topped it up before the race. We have the exact amount of coolant we have when we started the race. It didn't boil over. It's all still there in the car. Didn't burn any oil. We didn't lose any belt. Battery voltage is just fine. The car, even, right, I hopped in it, turned the key, started it up. It fired, no dramas. I put it into first gear. I haven't driven any faster than that. I put it into first gear to drive it so I could give it a wash. Everything's fine. And to top that off, I didn't baby it. Like, to begin with, we slowly sort of worked it up. But I pushed it. I pushed it harder and harder and further, so much so. Like, everything I've said about the power curve and the gearing and the just sort of torque figures and disregard it. I've learnt a few things. Everything I've said in the past is disregard. We've got to learn a few more things before I can put some confident accusations out there about what this feels like. And ultimately, I would like to put it on a dyno and see how it feels. But we pushed it. We pushed it hard. We pushed it really, really hard. So, I won't lie, I got carried away. I got really, really carried away with what happened. Let me, I'm all excited, hang on. I've got to frame the thing a bit better. So, I'm all excited. Hopefully this looks better. Do you know what the funniest part about all this is, right? I had this like big intention of what the end of this video was going to be like. It was going to be this big deal if the car works and stuff like that. And I had this big intention of all these different filming angles and shots I was going to get and stuff like that. That all went out the window. I was so excited. I was enjoying myself so much. And this is when it got really, really ridiculous, right? So we're in the car. It's working, right? This is like, we're 3-4 runs in, right? It's working well. I've revved it out to about 5.5, 5.7 grand, right? RPM. Let's push it a little bit more, right? Let's push it a little bit more. We get to 6,000 RPM. It works. It works just fine. It sounds good. 6.2. There's no pinging, no nothing. Okay, let's push it a little bit harder. 6.5, 6,500 RPM. It works. Still, it's not boiling over. 6,700 RPM. It's still working. It's not like this has been one run at high RPM. This is multiple runs. I came into the pits, I think twice, for no longer than 10 minutes. I've left the car running the entire time. It's been on a hot track, waiting in hot lines, using low gear, like first gear, just traveling little distances, only to be thrashed. 6,700 RPM, we've done it. Easy. I pushed it, right? This is absurd. I pushed it just shy of 7,000 RPM. Now I know in a world of like rotaries and modern day Porsches and stuff like that, 7 grand, it's high, it's not that high, right? But let's just realize something. This is an 8.9 litre V8 from the 60s. Yes, it's built, but it's an 8.9 litre V8 from the 60s. That was designed, it was bespoke, it was designed for one main purpose: low down, torque. That was it. It was meant to not rev very high. And regardless of that, we pushed it to nearly 7,000 RPM. 7,000 RPM. I felt like, you know, Ford vs Ferrari, the movie, right? I felt like Ken Miles when, obviously I didn't go 7,000 plus, but I felt like Ken Miles when Carroll Shelby put the sign out, he was like, 7,000 plus, let's go, right? That's what it felt like. It just kept going. And even at 7,000 RPM, so that was first gear, second gear, and third gear pushed up to nearly 7,000 RPM, right? No pinging, no detonation. I couldn't hear anything amiss. Obviously I had my helmet on, but I couldn't hear anything amiss. The car felt fine, the oil pressure gauge read fine, everything sounded and looked and smelt good. Nothing went wrong. I ended up doing something like 2 or 3 runs at that speed where nothing went wrong. That is obscene. This is massive. It's stupid. Like, and there's no engine protection. There's nothing. It does have an MSD, right? The digital, I'll be honest, I don't know how that system works. It's for the distribution. You can program it to where it like stops spark or reduces spark, or it has like a head. It doesn't have any of that, right? It's got no engine protection. It's either full noise or detonation. There's no in between, right? That's it. It didn't blow up. It didn't blow up. It didn't overheat. It didn't spin belts. It just worked, and it just sang, and it just did everything. I'm staggered. I'm so taken aback. Over a decade of us trying to get this thing going, and I take it out to roll racing after we've done bits and pieces here and there when I have time, and I'm so mean to it. I push it so hard, and it took it, man. It took it so good. We did. This is the best part. We did so well that every person we went up against, every person we raced, I lost to. I lost every single race. It's got 8.9 litre V8, all the torque in the world. The rear wheels were actually chirping a little bit. They were losing traction a little bit on as I planted it. Still lost every single race. I only versed 3 people. I versed my mate who's got a turbocharged Falcon, who's a bog stock XR6 Falcon that is turbocharged, and it's a stock bottom end and everything like that. That bet me like a car length or so, right? Not a huge thing, but it did beat me by quite a bit. I then versed, I think it was like a built BMW E93 or E92, sorry. Flogged me, absolutely flogged me. Oh my God. By the time I shifted to second, he was like at the finish line. It flew. And then I saw, right, there was this XC Falcon that, it was a 4-door, I think it was like a GS or something like that. I'm not too sure what it was, but it was an XC, similar to this, just slightly newer. I don't know what engine and stuff it had. Annihilated me, absolutely annihilated me. And that person didn't even make it to semi-finals. This thing is so slow. It's dreadful. But I've never been so happy to lose over and over and over again. It was such a strange feeling. I would lose, but then I'd be like, that was great. I want more. Let's keep going. It's working. And that's why I kept pushing it further and further into the rev range. I'm not saying 7,000 RPM is the new red line. We're not doing that. We're going to keep it below 6, right? But because it was working, and because I was so elated that it was working, I was like, right, this is the first time things have went this well. We might as well just go full beans, right? We might as well. Now, I did work up to it, but when we got there, it just kept going. It just kept going. I'm stoked, man. I'm so stoked. It blew me away. It genuinely blew me away at how well it just worked. I think the biggest standout for me though is what I said there at the beginning. Not only was I not the first to break down, I didn't. And it started up again since. Now I haven't driven it. There's a few things I want to check before I drive it. We pushed it hard and there's a couple of things we should realistically check. And I suppose we should lean into that now. It's not all sunshines and roses, right? There are a few things I've noticed that we need to address. First of all, the gauges, the factory gauges that are in there, I can't trust them. I probably shouldn't even trust the rev counter, right? I should probably confirm how accurate that is. The volt gauge, it does seem pretty accurate when I put it up to a multimeter. It seems pretty okay. The oil pressure, I've got no idea. It seems about right. No real clue. Temperature gauge, this is the real one. I don't know what it's doing. It never read hot, but it got to points in the gauge where previously, in previous renditions of this, same motor, it would have been boiling over and steam going everywhere, but it didn't. Now, that's old renditions. Still, it seems a bit odd. Now, I don't know too much of how these dashes work. I know that the voltage needs to drop. Steam's being attacked by a bird. Go get your bowl. Where's your bowl? Get a stick. Where's your stick? Regardless, we do need to potentially put in more accurate and better gauges in there, probably digital gauges. I would like to hide them somewhere if we do go down this line. I like the interior. I don't want to mess with it. Maybe we'll hide them in the glove box or the center console or something like that. Something out the way and you just can't see, but you can see it from the driver's seat by opening some compartment. So we need to address that. The next thing, which is a little bit more concerning because I don't know what it is. The very, very last run I did, it was the last run of the night. I revved it out. This was now the third time, I think, that I was pushing it up to near 7,000 RPM. The very end of the pull, I smelt a very new, very bespoke smell, and it trailed with me and it came with me all the way off until I got off the track and into the pits. I'm not 100% sure what the smell was, but it sort of smelt like clutch. Now, out of anything, that's probably a good thing. Oil pressure, we don't know if the gauge worked, but oil pressure was fine. The motors sound fine. I didn't hear any detonation, I didn't hear any pinging. It seemed okay. Everything seemed all right. The gearbox felt fine. I could shift gears just fine. I've been able to use it in first gear this morning. There's been no dramas. What I suspect has happened, right? It is a built, like it's a heavy duty clutch, right? But it is single plate. And this puts out a lot of torque. These are, what are they? 295s on the rear, right? They're not the grippiest tyres, but 295s on the rear. And it was spinning those, right? Not a lot, but it was spinning them. There's a lot of torque that's going through this driveline that this clutch has to handle. I imagine what has happened is everything started to heat soak, everything's getting hotter, I'm pushing it harder and harder, the clutch is getting hotter, the clutch is heat, there's nowhere for it to go. It's got the very hot engine block, it's got the hot transmission, and then it's got two exhausts that run next to it as well. There's nowhere for this heat to go. I'm thinking what has happened, the clutch has just gotten hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, and on that last run, it got so hot to where it started to sort of cook. It started to, I don't know, off-gas, if you will. I don't think we've destroyed it, but potentially that, strangely enough, might be our weak point. And, hello, did you find your stick? But it also, we may have damaged the clutch now. We may have pushed it a little bit. We're gonna have to test it. I think what we should do to see if it's gonna slip, I don't think it will, quite frankly, but to see if it's gonna slip, once we've checked everything over, made sure we're happy with it, we'll go out for a drive, get it pottering around, get it up to temperature, make sure everything's okay, put it into a high gear, so 4th or 5th, stay at a low RPM, 1500, 2000 RPM, and then just flatten it. If we see revs just spike, well, we know the clutch is slipping. If it doesn't mean the clutch is 100%, but it's good enough for now for us to use to potter around and everything like that. On top of that, what we want to do before I drive it around, I want to address a couple of other things as well. We pushed it, 7,000 RPM, stupid high, right? That's not what this motor's meant to do. It's not what this motor's meant to do. I want to drop the oil into a clean pan, run a magnet through it, make sure the oil's all okay. I want to cut open the oil filter, make sure we don't find any metal in there. Whilst we're in there, given the smell, I might also drop the transmission fluid. I don't know if it's actually ever been done, so it will be worth doing. And I think since we're up there, we'll check the diff oil as well, presuming that that's got a drain plug in it in a nice spot. If that all clears up and everything checks up underneath, we'll take it out for a drive and just see how it feels and everything like that. And all being well, we've done it. We've effectively done it. We've got it. We've got the car working. I can't believe it. And with that, we can ask a question, I suppose, that I've been almost putting off because we haven't been able to answer it. Hang on, let me grab a seat or something. I'm going to get all like deep and meaningful with you and introspective or something like that. I think it makes sense, but you know, you can be the judge of that. Let me find a seat. So, hello. Where's your toy? Where's your toy? Where is it? Where's your toy? I strongly believe that cars have their own identities and their own personalities. Now, that's not a radical thing to say. A lot of us agree with that. I think it goes almost deeper than that too. I think even like especially with these old cars, a lot of them have different personalities in between the same car, like the same badge, same make, some model, all that stuff. I think on top of that though, they almost have like a purpose. They have like a thing they want to be. A great example of that is the car that's behind you at the moment. The P6 LTD. That car, I know what that car is. I know what that car wants to be. It wants to be the GT car. It really just wants to be that really nice, long distance, comfortable, relaxed, effortless power cruiser. That's all it wants, right? But on top of that, it's got a full character about it because it's okay with that little bit of misbehavior. It's okay with that. It's almost, this is a very weird analogy that's came to my head. Have you ever watched The Nanny, right? The series The Nanny. My mum used to love it. There was a butler in there called, I think it was Niles. That's the LTD, right? Very well represented, very clean, refined, but they're not afraid to just speak its mind, say what it needs to and stuff like that. And so much so that I think this car, when we address some of the issues with it, like the exhaust, right now it's too loud, it's too raucous, it doesn't want to be that. However, it doesn't mind being like that. So when we add additional mufflers to quieten it a little bit, I think we also add a valve so we can open it up because it likes to sing and it's really good at it. Stuff like that. I know what the car wants and I know what it needs and what it's going to do, what's going to make it do well, right? I don't know where this car's home is. I genuinely don't know where it wants to be. Let's walk through it, okay? Roll racing. It did well. It did well with the heat. It did well with the feel of it. It did well, okay? It performed well. It took the punishment. It was slow. It was tragically slow. We didn't win a single race. It may have been the slowest car out there. It's not a good road racer. So, well, maybe it's like the LTD. Maybe it's a bit more of a GT car. Maybe it's more of the cruiser, the long distance mile muncher. well, look, it's a bit raucous for that, so it doesn't really fit that persona. So maybe it's more of a weekend warrior, or that sort of like fun car you take out and then you go to Coffees and Chrome with and stuff like that. Well, doesn't that seem a bit sad, a bit underwhelming for what this is? We've just taken this out roll racing. We've heard the motor sing. We know it's strong. This is the first time we've ever seen the capabilities of this motor. And the driveline, it took it with no punishment. Like it's fantastic as far as we know. We're going to put it on the hoist to find out. Doesn't that seem, just taking it out on the occasional weekend, doesn't that seem a bit sacrilege? Doesn't it seem, it just seems underwhelming. We've put all this time, all this effort in to baby it now, seems pointless. It's like, why did we do that? Why did we put this motor in? What's the point? So, well, if it's not that, maybe we are supposed to be a bit more aggressive with it. Maybe we take it to the track. And I would love to take it to the track. And I think it will be great fun there. Mostly because it will be terrifying, because I don't think it's going to be very good at all. The suspension's too soft. It's got no rear sway bar, so the body roll's immense. It's too heavy. It's got so much weight at the front that it understeers immensely. It punishes you so badly if you turn in at the wrong time. It doesn't have enough power. It doesn't hold you in the seats properly enough. The headlining, quite frankly, is too low. Like the roof of the seat, the roof height's too low, so you don't fit very comfortably in there when you're wearing a helmet. And the gear shifter's all the way over here, so you're sort of like trying to keep your head back, and it's not a very comfortable position. So I genuinely don't know what it is, and I don't know where we're supposed to take it. And I was thinking about this more last night after roll racing, and I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. Specifically because of that sticker right there, where it says 302. Let's go back to when this car first came out. This was a celebration. Ford had won Bathurst. They had done Bathurst and they won and they did well. So let's commemorate that. Let's build something that is proud of that win. Let's share it. Let's name it after the racing driver that won. And let's build it and sell it to the Australian people. They can have a glimpse of this racing series, of this racing car. This car was out racing. The XB, the XA Falcon was out racing. We're going to commemorate that with this coupe here. But we're only going to put a 302 in it. We're not going to put the larger 351. We're also not going to put the 9-inch diff in it. We're going to put the weaker Borg-Warner diff. I don't even think these came out from factory as a manual. I think they were a T-bar auto from factory. I think a manual was an optional extra. I don't know if this car's ever known what it's supposed to be. It's almost like Ford themselves said, here's the race car, but we've actually built it to be the Cars and Coffees cruiser. It's really bizarre. It sits in such a strange position. I think it's going to be an interesting little journey, an interesting little adventure we go on trying to find its home. And I've been trying to explore where we should take it and other options. Like maybe it should just be a resto mod. Like maybe it's meant to be like basically a Mustang, except I think they handle like garbage, so I'd improve that. But basically like a modern day Falcon, maybe that's what we should make it. Maybe, look, everything's pretty period correct. It's like blowing a motor and then putting a 460 in it isn't that absurd. Like people did that back in the day and it's still carby. We've kept the sort of theme with the lights, although they're LEDs, they keep the yellow glow, they don't have any halos or anything in it. We don't have a lot of technology in it. Maybe it is supposed to just be the cruiser. I genuinely don't know what it's supposed to be. Yeah, I genuinely don't know. I think the biggest thing that has swayed me a lot here is that, in a way, I was content with it just being the cruiser until it sang so much at roll racing. I cannot believe I did effectively 7,000 RPM multiple times and didn't blow anything up and didn't hear anything amiss. That's what staggers me the most. It's crazy. I don't know what we're going to do with it. I think before we go down that line though, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to get it on the hoist. We need to have a look at it. And we need to see how well she handled everything. Because feeling's one thing, but oil results, they're going to be one thing. Well, they're going to be something else.